What's up, YouTube? I wanna show you how I figured it out. I want to show you how I know that what I know is true. So, a few years ago, let me go look at the date real quick. Okay, the full size diagram says 2020, so we'll go with that. It's not, that's probably the date that I made that diagram, but it was probably made like, it is definitely made within the same year. It's probably definitely made within 2020. But either way, that's still 5 years ago. That's still 5 years ago is when I performed this experiment. I'll show you how I did it. I'm going to set it up in miniature right here, and I'm going to show you the steps I went through. I'm going to show you what to look for so that you know that what you're looking at, so that you understand what you're looking at. So what I did is I took two sundials and I set them 50 meters apart. 50 meters. Metric. We're using the metric system because it's exact. It's perfect. Set them 50 meters apart. Two sundials, just like this. These may have even been the ones I used. Actually, I'm not sure that they were, but it doesn't matter. You need two identical sundials. You need two identical sundials. You need a laser, like this. One that's capable of a very long distance, a very powerful laser, one that's capable of going very far. This one goes up to 1,000 meters. That's like 3-4 times what we're trying to reach, which is great because it's gonna overshoot us really far, and we're not gonna have to worry about. So you need a laser. The point of the laser is to get an exact straight line, and you as a human cannot make one. You need light to do it for you. Light is perfect, okay? It will create a perfect straight line, mathematically perfect, okay? It'll make things parallel for you is the point. So you need a laser, and then you need a way to level the sundials. I like to use a sphere or water. Okay? You make a line on a bottle or some other clear thing that you can see through. Put some water in it, find the level, and then you make sure your sundial's on that level. With the sphere is way more accurate, okay? So you take the sphere and you put it on each corner of the sundial. So you've got it split into four quadrants here. You put the ball in each corner of the sundial, and you adjust it until it stops moving. So like, if you set it down, if you set the sundial on the ground and you put the ball on the sundial and it does not move, it's level. And then you do that for each corner until it's perfect. So we've got a pretty level ground. It doesn't matter right now. It's miniature, so we're not trying to be accurate. But that's the point. You need two sundials, you need your light source, which is the sun, and you need a laser. Because it's light and it will be perfectly straight. So what you do, you go out into a field. You also need a field with a view at the south sky, okay? Midday south sky. And when I say midday, I don't mean 12 o'clock. I mean more like, I get them mixed up. I get the daylight saving times mixed up. One's at around 1:40, or yes, that was the time I liked. It was 1:40 or 2:40, because it's a little closer. The sun's a little more directly overhead. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. It's it's better, at least I can say that. It's better than using 12 o'clock. Or maybe it's not. Either way, that was the time I was using. It really doesn't matter a whole lot. The whole point is to actually that's the time I was using for the analemma. Maybe it was closer to 12. Anyway, the point is that you need to find midday. You need to find midday when the sun's in the south sky, and you need to take two sundials. You take two sundials, you put one here, and then you go 50 meters out. Your field needs to be flat, by the way. It needs to be flat ground, or you need to be able to level these. You go 50 meters out, and more like that for the miniature, but you go 50 meters out, and you set it, and then you use your laser to line them up with each other. So what you do is you get a piece of tape and put it over top of the button on the laser, so it'll hold the laser down, so that you don't have to do it. So it'll hold the laser down. I'm not doing it now, right? See? And then you set the laser, and you make it exactly parallel with your center line. And then you do the same thing over here. Well, can't see it all of a sudden. That's okay. It's a miniature. You'll be able to see it outside. Should be, anyway. I was able to for some reason. But my laser go. Did it just turn off? Is that what just happened there? Oh, it totally turned off. But you get the thing parallel. You make this line parallel with the laser line, and you get these perfectly straight. That's not straight, but you get the point. You make them straight. So and you line them up, and then use the light from the sun. So after you've lined up your sundials and they're perfectly straight, and I made a grid line on mine, so that when this laser hit the other board, there was something to line it up to, and you don't actually have to use the center line. You make another line, and you make a laser line. You make a line designated for the laser to line up to, rather than the sensor one, because it's really hard to use the sensor one. But after you get them lined up, you look at the sun, and you'll see, and you get them level, and you get them all level and perfect and straight, and your ball doesn't move on the sundial anywhere. We're clearly not level here, but it doesn't move on the sundial. Everything's straight and perfect, and you look, and so like for the sun to be 93 million miles away, I can't even do it here. But the shadows are supposed to be parallel. They're supposed to make two parallel lines that only intersect at the sun, right? Because that's where your light's coming from. But like it's supposed to be unnoticeable is the point. It's supposed to be such a straight line that it's unnoticeable. But when you go out to a flat field and you set your sundials 50 meters or more apart, like they just need to be hundreds of feet apart. That's the point here. And I think 50 meters is around 165 feet. It's almost 200. That's I could have gone up to 200 if I wanted to with the space I had, but I was trying to be considerate of the neighbors' yards and stuff. so, so what you do, you just so what it is once you're lined up with the laser, the sun should be making two parallel lines that line up with this line here, that line up with this one. But when I went out there and did it myself at 50 meters or 165 feet, they looked like this. See, the shadow's pointing inward. The shadow points inward, and which would imply that the sun is much closer, because the sun would be at the point where the direction of the shadows intersect. If you drew a line out from these shadows, it hits the sun. See, like, I don't even have to try again. It basically hit the lamp, like, because I'm following the line. I'm following the shadow. I'm not guessing. I'm following the shadow. That's why it hit the lamp on my first try. You know what I mean? Like, there's no... Shadows point to the light source, which is why you can do this. So, please, someone who sees this video, go out and try this yourself. Go try... You just need a flat field. You need two sundials. And you can get away without the ball. You can use a water bottle. You can use a water bottle with like half, that's about half full, and you draw a line on it that you know is perfectly level. And you can get away with that. You can get away with that little to figure out that the earth is flat and not round. Because, or anything else that NASA says, because you can do this. It's that simple. You go out into a field, you take two sundials, you align them with each other, and you put them far enough apart. The point is that you put them far enough apart where the distance between your sundials is greater than the diameter of the sun. That's why it makes this. That's why it does this, is because the distance between your sundials are greater than the diameter or the width of the sun. So it has to point, because if this line were pointing to the sun, you would see something more like this. But our sundials aren't meant to be misaligned. We want them to be aligned with each other, more like this, so that they're perpendicular, or I'm sorry, so that they're parallel to the sun's path in the sky, the south sky, midday south sky, because things have to be squared off. You know what I mean? If they're squared off like that, then you know it's right. Then you know it's mathematically sound, is the point. So please, somebody try this. See you the next time.